My hands were trembling as I stared at my phone. 3 missed calls from Mark Henderson, my attorney. Then a text popped up, a short, chilling message that made my stomach knot itself. "James, call me now. Don't go to Emma's house. I mean it." I froze. I was literally standing by the door, car keys in hand, about to drive to my daughter's place in Ridgewood, just outside Denver, for our usual Sunday dinner. Emma had been especially insistent this week. "Dad, you never come visit anymore. The kids miss you. I'm making your favorite roast chicken. Just like Mom used to." How could I say no to that? But Mark's text stopped me cold. I sank back into my leather recliner, the one Linda and I had bought 33 years ago when we first moved into our house here in Cherry Hills Village. My late wife would have known what to do. She always did. But Linda had been gone 4 years now. Since then, I'd been fumbling through life the best I could, trying to fill the silence. With a shaky breath, I called Mark. He answered on the first ring. "James, where are you right now?" "At home," I said, unease curdling my gut. "What's going on?" "You sound tense." "Good, stay there and lock your doors," Mark said. "I'm coming over." "Don't go anywhere. We need to talk face to face." 20 minutes later, he was at my dining table, laying out a neat pile of papers between us like a detective revealing damning evidence. "3 days ago," he began carefully, "your daughter Emma and her husband Ryan filed a petition with the county court. They're asking that you be declared mentally incompetent." I blinked, sure I'd misheard. "What?" "They want to be your legal guardians," he continued. "And they're requesting full control of your assets." It was like someone had punched me in the chest. That's insane," I stammered. "I'm 68 years old, Mark, not 98. I manage my own accounts. I volunteer at the community center every week. I passed my DMV renewal last month." Mark simply watched me with the calm patience of an oncologist preparing to deliver a diagnosis. "James, I need you to look at this," he said, sliding another sheet of paper across. "Your house is currently valued at $2.6 million. Your investment accounts total approximately $2.6 million. Your investment accounts total approximately $9 million. Between pensions, savings, and equity, you're worth a bit over $5 million. I swallowed hard. Linda and I had worked for everything we had. We never lived extravagantly. Paid off the mortgage early, invested modestly, raised our daughter with old-fashioned values. Emma knew what the house was worth. She'd even joked about it last Christmas. "Dad, one day that house will fund my retirement." I'd laughed. Apparently she wasn't joking. Mark opened his laptop and turned it toward me. "They've been in serious financial trouble, James. Ryan's tech startup crashed last year. They lost nearly $400,000 in investor money. Their McMansion in Ridgewood, $650,000 mortgage, and they've been late 3 times in 6 months. Plus, your granddaughter Hannah's private school tuition is $38,000 a year." I stared at the screen, my pulse climbing. "How do you even have this?" "It's all part of the petition," he said quietly. "Their argument is that they need to step in to protect your assets before your supposed mental decline causes financial damage." He took a long breath. They've been building a case for months. Then he showed me the evidence. A photo of me at Safeway, standing in front of the cereal display, looking confused. I'd simply been trying to find Linda's favorite brand, which they'd stopped carrying. A note from my doctor mentioning momentary disorientation during a checkup. I'd had the flu and mixed up 2 medications once. A recorded voicemail where I supposedly forgot my phone number. I'd been quoting the old landline number. I'd just disconnected. Every ordinary slip, twisted into a narrative of fading sanity. "This is elder fraud," I whispered. "This is abuse," Mark nodded grimly. "It is. And sadly, I see more of it every year. Adult children claiming their parents are unfit, just to seize control before inheritance time." I rubbed my temples, feeling dizzy. "What happens if they win?" "They get everything," he said. "Full access to your accounts, authority to sell your property, legal power to move you into assisted living against your will. You lose all autonomy." I stared around the dining room, at Linda's china hutch, at the framed family photos, at the life we'd built. "They can't do this," I said hoarsely. Emma wouldn't. She's my daughter. Mark met my eyes. They've documented every fender bender, every forgotten detail since your car accident last winter. They're painting a portrait of decline. And yes, they know what they're doing. I remembered that accident. A teenager had run a red light and hit me. Police had cleared me instantly, but Emma's concern afterward suddenly took on a darker tone. She'd insisted on coming to doctor's appointments, taking notes to keep track. I thought it was love. Now it felt like surveillance. I sat very still. What do I do? Mark leaned forward, his lawyer face shifting to something harder. We fight methodically. He counted the steps on his fingers. First, documentation. From tonight forward, you keep a detailed daily journal. Everything from your errands to conversations. Write it down, date it, time it. We'll build a record proving your full competence. I nodded numbly. Second, a professional evaluation from a neutral geriatric psychiatrist, not your family doctor. Someone credible who can testify you're sharp as ever. Done, I said. And third, Mark said with emphasis, you do not let on that you know. If they sense you're aware, they'll escalate. I felt a chill trickle down my spine. That dinner invite, I murmured. They wanted me there tonight, for a reason, didn't they? I suspect so, Mark said. Maybe to get your signature on something disguised as routine paperwork. Maybe to stage a recording of confusion. I buried my face in my hands. My own child, I said softly. How could she? Mark set a hand on my shoulder. I've seen love die at the altar of money, James. You're not alone in this. 1 week later, my days filled with lists and timestamps. Coffee at 8 a.m. Sudoku finished in 9 minutes. Volunteer shift logged. Grocery list written in full sentences for evidence. Clinical, maybe even absurd, but necessary. Then came Dr. Lisa Friedman, the geriatric psychiatrist. Sharp, kind eyes and no patience for nonsense. After 3 sessions of cognitive tests, she smiled. Mr. Preston, you're more mentally alert than half the medical students I supervise. You're perfectly sound, that was a relief. But pretending ignorance around Emma? That was the hardest act of my life. She called midweek. Dad. Sorry about Sunday. Ryan's mom fell and we had to rush over. Can we do dinner this weekend instead? Of course, sweetheart, I said evenly. Good. Actually, since I've got you, Ryan and I wanted to talk about setting up an estate trust. You know, just to organize things before, well, before anything happens, my jaw clenched. Oh, sure, I said lightly. Let me think on it. Don't think too long, okay? Things can change fast. Her tone had a chill I didn't recognize. That evening, as I watered Linda's garden, I muttered, you'd know exactly how to handle this, love. Maybe she heard me. Maybe the breeze that brushed my cheek was her answer. The knock at my door, it came 3 nights later, soft but urgent. I opened it to find my grandson. Noah panting on the porch, bike thrown on the lawn. Grandpa, he gasped. I need to show you something. Please don't tell Mom or Dad. He pulled out his phone with trembling hands. I recorded them. I know it's wrong, but you need to hear. He hit play. Emma's voice filled the kitchen. The hearing's in 2 weeks. Mark Henderson can't change that. We've got Dr. Patel's statement and the photos. Everything's ready. Ryan's voice. Even if he fights, he'll spend hundreds of thousands in legal fees. That estate's ours either way. Emma, again, cold, practical. The house goes up for sale first. Market's hot. We'll clear a couple million easy. He can move into that assisted living center near Littleton. He won't know the difference soon enough. Silence. Then a sniff. Noah was crying. I didn't know what to do, he whispered. They're talking about you like you're already dead. I couldn't let them. I hugged him tight. You did exactly the right thing, Noah. Mark listened to the recording twice. James, he said, voice edged with adrenaline. This is everything. Not only can we destroy their petition, we can sue for fraud and attempted exploitation. What happens now? Now we go to court. The hearing 2 weeks later, I walked into the Denver County Courthouse with Noah by my side, his small fingers tight in mine. Across the aisle, Emma and Ryan sat with their attorney, a slick man who looked like he charged by the smirk. Judge Caroline Draper presided. Dignified, precise, and visibly unimpressed by pretense, Emma's, Lawyer started with his sympathetic monologue about an aging parent in denial, waving doctored photos and citing my supposed forgetfulness. Then, Mark rose. Your Honor, he said, I submit a psychiatric report from Dr. Lisa Friedman, confirming that Mr. Preston exhibits no cognitive impairment whatsoever. He handed it to the bailiff, then addressed the room with calm precision. The supposed confusion at Safeway. He was looking for his late wife's cereal brand. The disorientation at the doctor's office. He had influenza. The forgotten phone number. He had just changed carriers. Mark's tone hardened. And more crucially, Your Honor, I have a recording that reveals the petitioner's true motives. He clicked play. In that courtroom, my daughter's voice became a ghost that none of us could silence. He can move into that assisted living place. He won't know the difference. The room fell deadly still. When the audio finished, the judge's expression could have frozen glass. Miss Preston, she said slowly, how do you explain that? Emma tried, her voice trembling. That was taken out of context. We were just talking hypothetically. Judge Draper's eyebrow lifted a millimeter. Hypothetical estate planning where you discuss liquidating your father's assets while he's alive? Emma opened her mouth, but nothing came. Judge Draper signed a paper firmly. This petition is dismissed with prejudice. Furthermore, the court issues a restraining order against Emma and Ryan Preston. No contact or proximity to Mr. Preston for 2 years minimum. All defense costs are to be paid by the petitioners. I am also referring this matter to the Colorado Attorney General's office for possible criminal prosecution under elder abuse statutes. She looked at me then. Mr. Preston, I hope this outcome restores some peace. No one should have to fear their own children. As court adjourned, Emma turned toward me. Her makeup was streaked. Dad, please. You have to believe. I understand perfectly, I said quietly. You were willing to sell me out for money. You stopped being my daughter the moment you did. Noah's hand found mine again. Grandpa, he said softly. Can we go home now? Yes, son. Let's go home. Aftermath home, that word had changed meaning. The house wasn't just bricks and appraisals anymore. It was safety again. It was proof. That night I called Mark. Update the will, I said. Everything goes into a trust for Noah's education and future. Emma gets nothing. Make it explicit. Are you sure? He asked quietly. I'm sure, I said. Include exactly what she did. I want her name in black and white for the record. He paused, then said, Consider it done. Within a week, Noah was living with me. His parents had kicked him out when they found out he'd given me the recording. He arrived with a duffel bag and a heartbreak too big for 15. I had the room. More importantly, I had the resolve. We built a new routine. Breakfast smoothies he'd invented, long talks after school, Saturdays in the garden. He took to it naturally, almost as if Linda whispered garden tips over his shoulder. One Saturday morning while planting tomatoes, Noah asked quietly, Grandpa, do you think you'll ever forgive her? I leaned on the spade, thinking of that courtroom, of Emma's voice dripping with plan and regret. Forgiveness, I said slowly, isn't about them, kiddo. It's about making peace with yourself. I don't forgive what she did. But I won't let it poison what's left of my life either. I've got too much living left, and you're part of that. 6 months later, the sprouts had grown tall. Sunlight spilling through the same windows Linda once cleaned every Sunday afternoon. One corner of the garden now had a small plaque Noah and I installed together. Linda Preston, 1954-2018. Family isn't always blood. It's who stands by you when everyone else walks away. Noah touched the edge of the plaque. You think Grandma would like this? I think she'd love it, I said, smiling. And she'd be proud of you. My phone buzzed. It was Mark. The Attorney General filed charges, he said. Emma and Ryan accepted a plea. Probation and restitution. Their records marked for life. So it's really over. It's over, said Mark, relief exhaling through the line. And your estate is safe. More importantly, you are. That evening, Noah sat at the dining table buried in algebra while I read by the lamp. The house was quiet in the best way. Not hollow, but peaceful. Emma had tried to take everything. My money, my home, my dignity. But in the end, all she took was her own integrity. And what remained was infinitely more precious. Not the $5 million net worth. Not the property portfolio. What remained was the boy across from me, chewing a pencil and doing what was right, even when no one asked him to. I thought of Linda's voice in that garden long ago. People show you who they really are when there's something to lose. Emma showed me greed can dissolve love. Noah showed me honesty can rebuild it. At 68, I'd learned that autonomy is worth defending, that vulnerability is not weakness, and that blood means nothing without loyalty. If you're out there wondering whether to fight when your own family turns against you, fight. Document everything. Get a lawyer who believes you. Trust that you're not crazy for wanting control of your own life. And if you're the adult child of an aging parent, remember, inheritance is a gift, not a right. Your parents' life's work belongs to them, not to your future spreadsheet. Emma's calculation was simple. 1 year of planning for a promised payout. What did she lose? Her father, her son, her conscience. Was it worth it? Only she can answer that. As for me, I've got fresh tomatoes to pick, stories to tell, and a grandson to raise. This old Colorado house isn't just worth millions on paper. It's worth everything in memory, in justice, in rebirth. Because home is not where the assets are. It's where the truth lives and refuses to be sold. Drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from. We read every single one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next.